all doing amazing. I'm super excited to be here with you. And I am so fired up to talk about one of my favorite topics, up-leveling your money mindset, and also really chatting about the importance of goal setting and setting clear intentions. So before we get started, I'm going to share this to my group, Elevate. If you're not a member already, please come over and join us. It's the Elevate Facebook group where we've got about almost 600 people in there, 600 women, all rising together, sharing our intentions, sharing our wins. I'm doing some, lives that are only for that group. So I would love for you to come and be a part of that. All right, so today, money mindset. This is such a loaded topic, right? It's like this and, I always joke that like this and sex are the two topics that we are supposed to be amazing at, know everything about, and yet we're not taught anything about it in school. We are not, for most of us, have not been taught about it from our parents, and yet we're supposed to have lots of it and be pros. So here's the deal. We women have not been taught these things, and it literally has like been in our DNA that it has not been safe, and we have not been wired for so many years, for so long, that we are, that like men are supposed to, be the breadwinners, and we're supposed to be home, in the kitchen, cooking, having babies, etc. And while I totally honor stay-at-home moms, and if that's your choice, fabulous. And for those of you women who are out there making it happen, now more than ever, we are being called to, I believe, rise up and start shifting the conversation and really empowering ourselves around money. So here's what happens, is that we are all part of a collective consciousness. And whether you know it or not, there are beliefs, there are that are literally stuck in our DNA that have been passed down from generations to generations about the ways that we think and the ways that we feel around money and really everything. But so much of, what we have learned about money is really transmitted in our early years. So it is our job as adults, as grown women to show up and to start rewiring our mindset, to start redoing the way that we think about things, and to start asking questions about what is going on in my subconscious, what are these thoughts and beliefs, and what are the ways that I feel called to start shifting these. There are two ways of kind of figuring this out and working with this. So I talk a lot about letting go of limiting beliefs and starting to repattern and rewire. So we can do this by either starting to go and excavate and starting to dig and look, which is all good. And I do with some of my clients. These would be things like, going and really looking at what is the money story that you learned from your father? What is the money story that you learned from your mother? What are your beliefs around money? Where do you think that it is safe or unsafe? And to really start digging in. So that is one way of doing it, and I do have, modules and whatnot to work with women in that way. There's also another way, which I actually love and have found to personally be the most effective in my life. And this is to just get into action, to start doing, to start taking steps forward in your business, to get into action, and then to start noticing where we're hitting our own upper limits. So typically what happens, not even typically, what always happens is that when we're in growth mode, when we are going after our dreams and our desires, we take steps forward, right? Like we go and get more clients. We, set a bar or set a goal for the money that we want to make. We go out and say we want to hire this person. We put ourselves out there on a video or on a newsletter like I'm doing right now. And then what happens is that when we've done that, typically wherever our own shadow stuff is being held, wherever our own limiting beliefs lay inside of us, they start to come to the surface. So, I'll just share, for example, oftentimes when I'm doing these lives, I'll get off and I'll just feel some of the self-judgments come up, right? And I hear this a lot from people that do public speaking, or, if you hold a workshop. I experienced this big time last February when I had 100 women in the room. It was so powerful. It was the most amazing night. And the next day, I could just feel all of my stuff and inner judgments and, my disempowering beliefs start rising up. So you have two choices when this happens. Number one, you can either follow that spiral and go into this deep, dark, black hole, which, hand over heart, I see so many women do. And it completely shuts you off and keeps you in paralysis for a really long time, or it can, right? Or you can take dominion over your mind. You can say, you know what? I am having these things come up to be healed. This is an opportunity for me to apply loving, to apply compassion, to apply empathy to the places inside that hurt inside of me. And that by doing that and being kind to yourself and to apply loving to the judgments, you start to not only heal yourself, but you also start creating space to what I call up level, to start moving into the direction of your dreams. So we hit these upper limits. And Gay Hendricks in his book, The Big Leap, talks a lot about upper limits. He talks about how we all have these unconscious beliefs of, that, being at the top is lonely, or that by going after our dreams and desires, we're going to leave our tribe behind. And so when we start breathing into that and start recognizing when we are disempowering ourselves and when we're in our story, which our story is just literally a makeup of all of the ways and the beliefs and the things, both unconscious and conscious, that we've picked up, which is everywhere, not only our families, but our communities, our friends, the people we hang out with, the activities that we choose to participate in. It's all of these ways that we have picked up along the way are currently where it makes up the current makeup of where you currently are. So if you want to change the future, if you want to change what's out there for you, you have to start doing the inner work now. And that by repatterning yourself, reworking yourself, reworking your mindset, you literally are setting yourself up to have more success in the future. And this is where things like The Secret, and there's so many books, and manifesting come in, and I get that, for a lot of people it's woo-woo, because here's the thing, is that we don't always get instant gratification. Sometimes we do, and oftentimes it takes a minute. And that's where we have to sit in our own uncomfortability. We get to sit in the gray. We get to sit in the unknown and choose faith over fear. I just had a thought that I'm losing at the moment, but it'll come back to me. So for us to shift our future, we have to shift our mindset right now. And my belief is that the best way that we can do that is to be open, to be aware, to notice where we have our own limiting beliefs and our own kind of, where we have our own edges, if you will. And when we see those, to not stuff them down, to not like try and turn our heads the other way. And I actually want to talk about this for a minute, because this is something that I've been seeing with a lot of women, that they think, which is understandable, that they think that when you have a limiting belief, or you have your own upper limit, or you start to notice your mind go, I can't because, or I don't know how, or shit, like I'm not good enough to charge that, higher amount, or when we start to question ourselves, I think our first instinct as smart, positive, upbeat women that are going for things in the world, which I know you are. I know you are going for it, and that you want so deeply to expand and hit your goals and be of bigger service and to share your gifts in the world. And so instead of actually turning to and opening to some of those darker sides of ourselves, those limiting beliefs, it's your tendency to kind of push them down and to just, not want to look at them. And what I've heard from some women is like, well, I feel like if I look at them, then I'm giving them energy, and then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not doing my affirmations. I'm not positive thinking. I'm not manifesting. Well, here's the issue, is that when you lay all the positivity on top of an already rocky foundation, it's like a Band-Aid. And so it's going to help stop the bleeding for a minute, and you may see some like immediate like feel good, but it's mostly on the surface. And so in order to actually heal the wound, you do have to go in and be willing and have courage and create space to start looking at some of those beliefs. And this work, it can be simple, it can be fun. We're doing a lot of it right now in my group coaching program. And with a community and with support, right? Like, it doesn't have to be like doomsday. And the more that you start doing it, the more that you will get used to having it be second nature. And for example, I even shared this happened to me yesterday. So I got on Facebook Live. I think some of you, Bonnie, I know that you were on yesterday. And Hillary, if you're still on, hi, thank you so much for your support. And whoever else is on there, please just say hello, say where you're from, say where you're coming in from. So yesterday I got on the Facebook Live, and I was so jumbled. I felt like nothing that I said made sense, and it's neither here nor there. But I got off, and I could just feel like, I just felt gross, right? And I just was like, why did I do that? And I just started judging myself, and my inner perfectionist came up, and, like, how am I ever going to, like, grow my community if what I'm saying doesn't make sense, et cetera, just all this stuff, all the limiting beliefs. And I took a minute, and I just sat with myself, and I said, you know what? The truth is that if I said one thing that inspired one person, or hit like a little, note for one person, whether they're watching it live or whether they're watching the replay, I have been of service today. And my job is to not be perfect. My job is to not know everything. My job is to not know exactly my message at all times. My job is to show up, to ask Spirit to use me as a conduit, to support the women that I am being called to, have in my community, to work with, to be of service with, and to leave the rest aside. And so, I'll be honest, it took a lot of courage to hit post and to actually have that live on my Facebook page. And I did it because I had committed that I was going to show up that day. If people saw my email and were going to go back and watch the replay, I didn't want people to think that I, didn't do what I was going to say. And I just had to leave the rest aside. And I, just put my hand over my heart. I flooded some love. I did a meditation. And I also got myself to the gym, which, if anyone that knows me knows that I literally do not go to the gym after 9 a.m. I'm just a morning person. I get to the gym bright and early. I don't think I've been to the gym after 10 a.m., even on a weekend, for like maybe a year. And I got to the gym yesterday at 4 p.m. to move the energy, to get in my body, to remember like the importance of, just like, whatever, just to like get out of my own way and to clear my mind. So that's the moral of the story. I'm back here today, got much better energy, and hopefully today I'm saying something that makes sense, which I think I am. Okay, so, Hillary, you're my positivity on my drive to Boss Ladies. Oh, awesome! I'm joining again next month. I'm so excited to be back with all of you. Please tell all of the girls I said hello, and that I'm excited to see them starting in November. So, all right, so we're talking about the fact that old money mindset beliefs, old ways that are no longer serving you be stuck in our bodies, in our genes, in our DNA, and that it's up to us to start becoming aware of these, to start seeing where we're holding ourselves short, to see where we're playing small, and to know that by doing that, we are not serving anybody. I know that all of you are unique, that you are meant to shine in your own way, that you are here literally in human form on planet Earth to be of service and to share your gifts. And so the only way that we can do that is by having courage, to getting out of our comfort zone, to take risks, and to start trying new things, and then to use those things, and we get to explore, right? Some things are going to work, and then some things we're going to say, all right, that didn't work, on to the next. So when you start trying new things, you're going to hit your own upper limits, you're going to hit your own limiting beliefs, your self-doubts, etc. And we get to work through those, we get to apply self-love, we get to start shifting those beliefs. And what that does is that it starts clearing space. So we start to get to open up more space where we were maybe in some fear or some subconscious or unconscious beliefs that are no longer serving us. When you start transforming those and you start reworking those, it opens up space for us to start laying a stronger foundation. And here are my tips for how to lay a stronger foundation. I'm going to take one sip of water here. Before I go into this, I do just want to share with you, there are 3 spots left for this intensive special that I'm currently offering. If you don't know about it, we will put the link here in the profile. I had 10 spots in the last week. I've sold 7 of them. Basically, it's a private 3-hour intensive with me at a massive, massive discount of $1,000 per person, or $1,000 per package. So for more information on that, go to the link, and so you can see that. All right, so now here is, once we've started to clear out some of the space, noticing where we're holding ourselves back, here are my favorite ways to lay a stronger foundation. So I talk a lot about having a morning routine, and I do preach that a lot to my clients, and I want to out myself that I don't have a consistent morning routine. And here's why. I'm not a robot, and I'm actually very spontaneous. I'm a Sagittarius, and I don't do well having a super, super structured routine every single day. That being said, I do some type of uplifting, whether it's money mindset or meditation or healing practices, almost every single day and almost every single morning. We are all, you are, I am, we are all smart, capable, savvy women, right? So I'm going to give you my suggestions. I'm going to give you what has worked for me in the past. I'm going to give you what I do today. And then you get to choose for yourself what works for you, right? You get to try it on and make it your own. Do your own combination of whatever works for you. So there's a few elements that I think are really, really important in laying a new foundation. One of which is not only creating the space, but to tune in to your own sense of higher power, universe, source, whatever it is you want to call it. I really believe that we have to call upon that bigger being, if you will, to move forward through life in a more heartfelt, joyful way. And so there are a number of ways that you can do this. Meditation is amazing. You can do sitting meditations, you can do walking meditations, you can do breathwork meditations. For anyone that's new to meditation, I absolutely love breathwork because it's an active meditation that literally gets your head to stop, which all of us in the Western world are like addicted to our mind of going, and can support us in getting into our heart. One of the women on here is a Kundalini instructor. I love doing the breath of fire. I actually show my girls how to do this I'm not a yoga instructor, but by breathing out of the nostril, I'm not going to do it here, but if you literally Google Kundalini breath of fire, it is super powerful to start turning your head off and to tune into your heart space. So, meditation, very, very powerful. Praying, if you're spiritual or if you just believe in some type of higher power, really connecting and calling on spirit. For me, it looks something like, Spirit, how would you have me show up today? Who would you have me serve? And in what ways can I make the highest impact? Gabriella Bernstein talks a lot about this. So does Marianne Williamson in the Course of Miracles. Another very powerful kind of line of thinking. A few other things that I love to do, and Hillary, if you're still on here, you coined the term hour of power when we were working together, and I loved it. So Hillary, and she shares this publicly in some of my testimonials and whatnot, so I know she doesn't mind me sharing this, but when we first started working with us, she just got so focused on her hour of power and her mindset and her shifting her beliefs. And she spent an hour every single morning totally committed to this work, to the inner work, and it dramatically shifted her experience almost immediately. Within 3 months, was getting consistent clients, was having consistent 5-figure months, very, very powerful. And this has now happened for several other of my clients. So, I do say that if money is your number one priority at the moment and you are hell bent on growing your business, how do you not have an hour to spend? How do you not have an hour to seriously focus yourself on making the most out of your day, on keeping a super high vibe, on connecting with source, on reading your wealth consciousness books, etc. So, meditation, journaling. Journaling typically goes something like this. You can go through literally all of the things that you are on your mind. So just do a mind dump, right? So I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, and it's just all the stuff. Maybe it's your to-do list for the day. So it's get all of the chatter out of your head. And typically that may take 5 minutes or something. And then you can start shifting the conversation into, okay, now that I've kind of cleared the space, I start asking questions. How would you like for me to show up? Who would you have me serve? How would you want me to go out and earn this amount of money? Right? Just starting to ask. And just wait to hear the inspiration, wait to hear the download, wait to see what comes. And if nothing comes, that's okay. But if you can get quiet and if you can actually start turning off your brain and tuning into your heart space, my guess, my knowing is that the inspiration and the downloads start to come. And the more that you can access that, which is called accessing your intuition, the more you start taking action from a really inspired, heartfelt place, which let me tell you, when you come from that place, it no longer feels like work. It just comes through you and you can be in massive action and it's super powerful. So that's journaling. I shared about meditation, books. Love wealth consciousness books. They're so powerful. If you're not a reader, then get them on audio. There's also a number of podcasts out there that I love, but we will post below a few of my favorite books. Jen Sincero's You're a Badass at Making Money is one of my favorite. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. That's one of the oldies but goodies. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, which I already shared. That's super powerful. The Power of Intention by Wayne Dyer is amazing. The Law of Divine Compensation by Marianne Williamson. There really are so many out there. So if you don't know where to start with these 4 or 5, whatever I just mentioned. And when you start asking, what's the next book? And you start, asking a few of your friends or your community, or you ask me, are you asking me on the Elevate group, right? Like, if it's something you desire, you go out and you ask, and you will find the answer. So wealth consciousness and money mindset books, journaling, meditation, and then affirmations. So before I share about affirmations, I do also just want to share with you one of my actually favorite meditations recently has been one by Abraham Hicks, and we will put the link down here. It's 15 minutes long. It's called Financial Abundance Meditation. To be incredibly powerful, to get me in a very high vibe state every single morning. Again, not every single morning, but almost every single morning. And to really support me in going out and just keeping that vibration high throughout the day. So before I talk about affirmations, I want to talk about goals. I have been chatting with a number of women recently that don't have goals or intentions. And I've honestly been a little baffled. Because I just feel like in today's world and women entrepreneurs and creative entrepreneurs, there's so much talk out there about the importance of this. And I'm really curious. I'm really curious what this is about for women. And I've been asking some of them, and part of it. And if you watch this video and you are someone that that has never written goals before or doesn't have them, if you feel called and you feel open, I'd love to hear on the comments. What has been holding you back from creating goals? I'm curious, is it the fear of writing something down and not achieving it, which I totally get? Is it just literally not knowing how to go out? Is it, not knowing if you're going to make a quote unquote, reasonable goal, and are you going to stretch too much, or is it not enough, etc.? So this is something I've been curious about, and I may talk about it a little bit in my Elevate group in more detail, because it's really important. It's really, really, really important to get clear on what you're up to and where you're going. And here's why. Money is currency, and currency is energy. And in order for it to come in, it has to have a place to go. So if we're not clear on where the funds are going, and whether that's to a savings account or a tax account, or to purchase, the next trip or vacation, or to invest back into your business, if you're not clear on where it's going, it has no reason to come in. So the way that I typically set goals with the women I work with is to really think 90 days out. And once you start getting, slightly more advanced, you can start looking at things in 6 months and 12 months chunks. My husband and I take at least one day every December, and we leave the house. We used to go on a trip, but now we don't always go on a trip now. But we take one day and we just turn off our cell phones, and we get really clear about what is this next year about for us. And I'm actually thinking about doing a workshop specifically on that in December. And this is actually the first time I've shared about that. Thinking about doing it in December or January, because it is vital. It is vital that we get clear on what we're up to and where we're going. So, if you're new to goal setting, or if you're like somewhat new in your business, I do recommend doing it in 90-day chunks, because so much can change in 90 days. Like literally quantum leaps can start happening. So I don't want you to sell yourself short or think too small. Just look out 90 days. And I also find that it's like really attainable. Like when we start looking at a year or 2 years, especially for us like creatives, it's like it's so far out there. But 90 days is reasonable. Start asking yourself, what is it that you want to create in 90 days? What are 3 things, no more than 3, what are 3 things that you are calling forward and that you are wanting to really bring in? Is it a dollar amount? And if you're up to the money game and you're up to growing your business, then in my opinion, it should be a dollar amount, because we're not doing this as hobbies, right? You may have started out as a passion, but at some point it shifted into being a business. So what is your money goal? How many clients do you need in order to achieve that? And then is there a marketing goal or visibility goal, or, in what ways do you want to, start sharing more of yourself and your services? So if there are other goals, hiring somebody, I hear a lot of women talk about, like a lot of women will say, oh, my goal is to redo my website. Here's my stance. If you already have a website, redoing your website at this point is not going to go out and make you more money. So if you don't have a website, you need a website. It's social proof. Like you need to show, you need to have a Facebook page, you need to have an Instagram account, you need to have a website, but you don't need to be constantly working on updating your website at all times. What you need to do is get clear on who you're serving, what your offerings are, what your packages are, how much you're charging, and go out and find them. That's a whole nother module. It's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother Facebook Live, which I'm happy to do. But that is where your energy needs to be. When we spend time being stuck in the computer, when we get stuck in the time being in the back end of the website or the design all day long, it's an excuse. It's keeping yourself in the office space and not actually going out and getting clients, meeting potential clients, etc. Okay, so the importance of goals, they are vital, absolutely mandatory for you to grow your business and also to bring in more money so that it knows where it's meant to go. And then I'm just going to end on affirmations, and then I'm going to call it a day. So once you have those goals and intentions, you can start putting them into affirmations. So affirmations are present tense I am statements to put you in the energy field of where you want to go. So, for example, I am attracting 5 more clients with ease and grace. I am being of massive service in the world, and I receive a energetic exchange in the amount of XYZ for my services. I am calling in, a VA, a virtual assistant, to support me in this way. So whatever your goals are, start reframing them in present tense affirmations. And what that does is it starts signaling the universe that you are already in that mindset. You are already calling it in. You are already making it happen. And from that point, what happens is that the universe literally starts to go out and reorganize people, places, opportunities, things to start making your reality happen. What we don't know is how long that is going to take, or in what form, or in exactly what way. And we also don't know which clients are going to come in, or in what form the money is going to come in. So staying out of the how, which Mike Dooley talks about in Leveraging Leveraging the Universe, which is also one of my favorite books, and I highly recommend it. Stay out of the cursed hows. It is not supportive of you in any way, shape, or form, and it actually keeps you locked in to old patterning and old ways, and it keeps you locked into your mind instead of being opened up to creativity, to flow, to joy, to new ways of doing things, and for new opportunities to come in. So stay out of the how, get clear on what you're doing, on who you're serving, on where you're going, and affirm that daily. I think that's it for the day. If you have questions about this, let me know. I welcome, yeah, buts. If this is like, great, Heidi, but sounds a little out there. I need to know the system. I need to know the strategy. I need to know the marketing. I hear you. Yes, that is all part of it. But getting the mindset first and getting a strong foundation is the first step, because from that place, the hows, the next marketing campaign, what you're going to say on Facebook, what you're going to write in a newsletter to your potential clients, what you feel called to share on social media and your Instagram account, the exact person that is meant to come in and support you. All of these things start to happen with more flow and ease when you have a high vibration mindset and you start shifting your relationship with money and doing the money mindset work and the wealth consciousness work. Clearly, I'm very passionate about this. If you're interested in working with me, I've got 3 more spots in this intensive. It's an amazing deal. Check it out and feel free to sign up for a free call with me to see if it's a good fit. All right, ladies, have an amazing day. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And I will see you soon. Bye.